Hey guys, welcome to another product showcase. Today's item comes to us from InWin, and we're going to look at the BUC 101 mid-tower ATX case. Okay, this is kind of a revision of the original popular BUC case that InWin made. The 101 has some neat features as well as some new styling on the front of the case that we'll get into once we pop it open. First off, let's just have a quick look at some of the specs for it. It does support USB 3, silent fan, 120 millimeter, SSD ready. It's a tool-free design, water cooling ready, hard drive easy swap dock, and ROHS. Let's spin it around and have a look at the specs on it. Okay, specifications are, this is a SECC steel case. It's an ATX case. It'll also work with micro ATX. External drive bays, 5 1/4 by 3 and 3.5 inch by 1. Internal drive bays, 3.5 by 5 and 2.5 by 5, which is great if you're going to add a lot of SSD drives. Front ports, you got USB 2x2, HDAC 97 audio. Top ports, you got your USB 3.0 times 2, 3.5/2.5 SATA hard drive easy swap times 1. We'll have a look at that. Power supply, ATX 12 volt expansion slots, PCIe, PCI, AGP times 7. Thermal solutions, front 120 millimeter fan 1, rear 120 millimeter fan 1, top 120 millimeter fan 1. Side 120 millimeter fan times 2 optional. Water cooling hole ready. Magnetic air filters. And dimensions on it are 496 high by 200 wide by 508 millimeters deep. Or in inches, that'd be 19.5 high by 7.9 wide by 20 inches deep. So let's open it up and have a look at it. Inside the box they also include a nice fold-out manual that'll show you how to install certain things on it, all your specifications on it, how to connect your hard drives and wires and so on. Okay, one of the first things you're going to notice is some radical new styling that they did on the front of these versus the original BUC case. You can see they have a totally different plastic front bezel on it. Your power switch here. There's your power LED bar on the side, and there's a reset switch with your hard drive LED on the side. In the front here we have our two USB 2.0 ports as well as our audio ports. And very nice setup they have for cleaning your filters. You can simply pop the front panel off. This is also the same way that you will change your top fan. There's a couple little tabs you push down, and that'll free up the filter. And the filter pops out of there for cleaning. So you can easily pop that out or pop it back in. You'll notice it has a nice black finish to the case, very similar to the original BUC style, except for on the sides here. You'll notice that there is no opening here for the removable hard drives that we've seen in the BUC. Now this does come with a magnetic screen. This basically just goes right over your fan inlets right on the side here. So you can see it looks nice when it's set in there. It's going to give you a way to filter out all your dust, and then when you want to wash it or clean it off, you simply just peel it off and clean it out, put it back on. One of the easiest ways I've seen to get at a fan filter. On the back is pretty traditional to the original BUC. See if we can get this turned here. You see the 7 ports in the back. We also have our cooling ports on the top here for water cooling. Our rear mounted 120 millimeter fan, as well as our bottom mounted ATX power supply. And you'll notice the side latches here, that it uses the pop-out style latch. Okay, inside the case is fairly typical to the original BUC. It's all toolless design. You got your 5 drive bays here, as well as your 4 or 5.5 inch bays here, and your 2.5 up here for a solid state drive. These all just pop out of here, and all of these can be used for a 2.5 inch drive also. So depending on how many 2.5s you plan on running, solid state drives, RAID array, what have you. They haven't changed a lot inside the case. The typical 120 millimeter on top, the rear 120, and then your intake 120. The cutout in the back for your CPU cooler, that's pretty much remained the same. I think everything in the basic part of the chassis has remained the same as the original BUC. The only changes have really been the add-ons to modernize it as well as a modern style. You also see the channel back here to run your cables, which was a really nice touch in the original BUC case. Okay, up on the top of the case, you'll notice once again the styling that we've seen in the front continues around onto the top of the case itself, where they had added some ribs here and a different style cover for the fan that's very similar to the front one we looked at, which is just a pop-off cover, and then you can get at your screen to pop it out and clean it. Very simple setup. This is new, is their USB 3.0 ports. You can simply pop this cover open, and there you see your 2 USB 3.0s, very handy to get at. Then up here on the front, they have a rubber, this is actually kind of a removable pad here, nice foam pad, to put your camera on or what have you, a MP3 player, phone, maybe something you need to charge. So this is a nice soft spot to put stuff, and you also can connect a hard drive here if you have a external hard drive, or say an SSD drive, something that you just want to hot swap out. You can push this button here, and that's going to remove this front plate here. And right here is our SATA connectors, so you can simply just slide a drive right onto there and it'll hot swap onto there. And then when you're not using it, you simply put the cover back on it, and that's going to keep the port all clean and ready to go for when you do need it. Okay, on the back side of the case, you can see there's no ventilation, it's just a solid panel. We have the same type of pop-out latches for the back panel that we've seen on the other side. Inside, on the back of the motherboard tray, you can see there's cutouts for cable management holes in various spots, as well as in the channel itself for cables. You can route all your hard drive cables and stuff back through the back side here, so it gives you plenty of room to work with as far as cable management goes. Okay, we're going to take just a quick look at the bottom here to show you that on the bottom of the case there is ventilation for your power supply to allow fresh air in, as well as a removable filter here also that simply slides out for easy cleaning. Well, I have to say that I was fairly surprised when I heard that they were going to re-release the BUC case, because I thought the original BUC case was actually a very nice case. So I was kind of surprised to see what changes they were going to do with it. But actually, after looking over the BUC 101 and seeing some of the innovations they've done with the styling, with the removable fans, the magnetic fan filter on the side, overall I think it's a very nice case. It's a nice step up from the original BUC. If you have a BUC case, you might want to consider moving up to the 101, or if you're looking for a mid-tower case for your gaming needs and whatnot, I would definitely recommend the BUC 101. It's a nice looking case. It's got all the features you're going to need for wire management, water cooling, plenty of air moving through it. Just overall a great ATX mid-tower case. So we want to thank InWin for providing this for our showcase, and I want to thank you for watching.